Welcome to Rotary and Serving Our Community. With us today we have two special guests. They're going to be talking about a very unique Rotary Club. It's an EClub, and there's actually two of them that we have represented today. With me I have Susan Weaver and Les Esposito. Susan, which club are you with?
I am with the Rotary EClub of One World.
Okay. And that is located?
We are in the world.
On
the internet.
Very good. And Les, how about you?
Well, we're called Global Eagles. We've been around about 107 days so far. We were chartered May 8th, and our district name is Rotary EClub of Global Service, District 5240.
And what makes a EClub unique? Different from, I would say, a traditional Rotary Club?
Well, I would say in the main, it's that we, at least for our club, we meet online. We do not have physical weekly meetings where our members are meeting online and attending meetings online. And that's, of course, different from traditional Rotary clubs.
Very, very different. Les, anything else?
Well, I think internationally, we have 19 charter members from 4 different countries, including USA. We have members from Chile, Guatemala, Canada, and we're represented in 4 states. I think California, Arizona, Idaho, Washington. So the international flavor is fantastic. This is what we really love about it. Also, I think what makes it unique is that we can meet almost anytime we want. Not the meeting is a certain day every week, but we can sign in through our WebR and attend the meeting 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, which is a wonderful thing.
That is, especially with the time zones, I would imagine, around being worldwide.
Especially, that's true. And I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of times we'll be traveling and we might miss our meeting. When I was in a regular club, like the Montecito Club, which I was a member for 19 years, I would have to be either on that Tuesday at 12 o'clock at the Montecito Country Club. Well, now I could be traveling, and if I have my computer or my cell phone, I could just go get right in and go to a meeting.
Makes a lot of sense. Susan,
Right.
how about you? What is the diversity of your membership?
We have members in 15 countries,
Wow.
10 U.S. states.
Oh, okay.
So we're represented on every continent except Antarctica.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
impressive.
we have a very diverse membership, and it is particularly important for us to be able to meet 24/7, or for our members to be able to attend the meeting 24/7, because with members in Australia, for instance, where we have an 18-hour difference, it's quite a challenge sometimes. We do have online meetings, go-to-meetings with the board, and sometimes informal meetings with our club members, just socials. And there again, it's a little bit of a challenge to find a time slot that works for everybody.
That's right.
Some people wind up being bleary-eyed.
Right.
Now, how about language issues? With being in so many different countries, have you faced that yet, or is it mostly English speaking currently?
We have a requirement on our club that you at least be literate in English, because our programs posted online can include quite a bit of text. And so we do require that people be able to read English fluently. As for speaking English, we do have members who speak it a little less than fluently, but enough to get along.
Like a second language,
yeah,
something.
so members in Spain, for instance, we have a member there. And though his English is very good, there's still certain times when we have a few idiomatic differences, we'll put it that way.
Okay.
But we get along great.
Good. How about you, Les?
Actually, the 19 charter members we have right now, they all can speak English. But we were working on our webpage where we do a translation, at least into Spanish. But I think that's as far as we've gone. We haven't had that trouble yet. No.
No, we haven't really either. But again, because as part of the membership application process, we do require
Right.
people to be literate at least.
Got it. So tell us a little bit about your websites. What do you have actually on there besides just a program? And what would a program include?
Well, for us, a program might include written text and or videos, photographs, anything that's visually engaging, and we normally require those to be about a half an hour's worth of attention span in length. And that constitutes the program for the most part, though we do expect members to be paying attention to other parts of not only the web page but also the Facebook page, private Facebook page that we have.
Okay.
And our programs are available not just to our own members, but we have a lot of people who make up every single week from other Rotary clubs in all other parts of the world.
So the public could actually view these?
Absolutely. They just have to visit our website.
Okay.
Which I'll be happy to give the address for.
We'll give you plenty of time on that one. We will
All
have time
right.
for that. Les, how about
Same
you?
with us. You know, our web site has programs, past programs, future programs. You can do makeups, which is wonderful. We also try to have each member present a program or be in charge of a program. That's what we're doing right now. Actually, we've had some interesting programs. I was very surprised at some of the things these members have done. I've learned so much about them. I think it's very exciting, especially when you're dealing, let's say, with a officer of your club who's maybe in Spain or Chile, you know, and he's talking about a program that he's doing down there. It's almost like going to an international conference, right? You know, it's wonderful, yeah.
It is. Now, how about, I would say programs-wise, a unique one, something that really stood out, something very different that you hadn't anticipated
You know what?
seeing in your program?
Yes, there was one. There was a 2-week program, and one of our members went down to the Antarctic. And he had pictures of this, and after I saw those pictures, I don't think I'd ever get in a boat. He was in a cabin that was basically sometimes above water through the porthole and sometimes below water. But it was quite interesting, and I learned a lot. I really did. So I think you have more of a chance to see in a program a greater variety than in an EClub program than you will in your home like in your club that is situated in a city, because usually we're drawing right from maybe a district. Here we're drawing from all over the world, and I find it quite fascinating.
Well, and I think the other aspect to that is that our programs have to be oriented to a wide audience, because we do have people visiting from around the world. So it can't be narrowly focused on a particular community, except if it's for instance, a Rotary project or something of that nature. But as Les has indicated, our programs really are a wide range of topics, cover a wide range. And we just had a recent one actually posted on a bicycle trek. It's called called Ride the Divide.
Wow.
Which is an incredible, I thought of you with your background with bicycling, because you start in Banff, Alberta, Canada, and wind up at the US-Mexican border.
Wow.
And it is grueling. It is longer than the Tour de France, but and self-supported the whole entire way. So it was pretty fascinating to learn about it. And actually, a gentleman here from Santa Barbara participated in that and finished the race.
Wow.
Wow.
Now was that a Rotarian, or was that just?
Yes, I'm not sure if he's a Rotarian actually,
just
but
curious.
associated with Unite to Light. So.
Oh, okay. Made a lot of sense. Now, was that part of a fundraising effort also, or was that just a challenge?
I think it's a personal challenge, though I'm sure that there are probably people within it who, as you do for runs and things, if I finish, will you donate so much to my charity?
Right.
So much for mile.
Now, how about, I would say, community involvement? It seems like that would be possibly one of the challenges an EClub would have, having an impact at the local level.
Yeah, but one of the greatest things I think about the EClub is they push this idea of buddy clubs. So we ask each member to have a buddy club. A buddy club is what we call a normal Rotary club in a city that you would get involved with for instance, my buddy club would be your club. We're both from Carpinteria. And if I want to do something in the community and I want to do a community project, I basically will try to work with your club doing that. And if it's raising funds, trying to get that information out on our webpage, and see if any of the other clubs would want to get involved, or any members of the clubs would want to get involved. Actually, I can see the EClub eventually being a tremendous avenue for international projects. And the reason why I say that is, let us say that a club, let's say your club, want to do an international project and you were looking in a genre of something. And I might speak about this during our club meeting, and we might find a club in Chile says, hey, I would like to match that, get into something like that. So I think that's probably one of the nicest things, best things about an EClub.
So you're talking about having membership that actually is ambassadors around the world.
That's right, exactly what we are.
Because that's where they
Yeah,
live.
I begin to really believe that we are ambassadors around the world.
Yeah.
And we're learning to work with people from other cultures. Now, we always said we're going to do that as Rotarians, and we do in international conferences. But we actually are dealing with other cultures in our club. I mean, they don't do things the way we do, and we don't do things the way they do. But because of this tremendous friendship of Rotary and the dedication of service above self, we have one thing in common, that's just help our fellow man and peace in the world. It's amazing how we learn to listen and not talk to understand what's
How about
going
you,
on.
Susan?
Yeah, well, we're having the same experience, but I think I would add to what Les has said, that one of the more important things that you need to do when you are considering an international project is to find a good Rotary partner in the area where you want to perform that. And for us, we have people who are already familiar with folks in that area and with clubs and know what their reputations are and how open they would be to a partnership or not. And so we can forge those international friendships and working relationships much more easily. We don't have to really go outside of our club to find them.
That's good. That is great. Yeah. So one of the advantages, it sounds to me like, I know Rotary has the grants process where every dollar you basically get $3 in return, actually over that. So is that something that would be, I would say, beneficial, something you actually seek out in projects, a global grant project, something like that?
For me, I have done a lot of global projects in my old club, and I look upon the EClub as this is a tremendous opportunity for an EClub to get involved with our buddy clubs, so they might join together financially, and we can sort of take advantage of that 3-to-1.
Good.
And I think that it's been sort of interesting for us because we have participated in other people's global grants by contributing our district designated funds. And that's sort of interesting because our members are contributing that, but they're from other places in the world and they funnel into District 5240 and then we get to distribute them to our global grants. So.
A few years ago, actually, I was invited to participate with the grant that your club did. It was a wheelchair project, I believe. This was in Tampico, Mexico, where we distributed and delivered 550 wheelchairs. That was part of a global grant. Did you hear anything about that? Are there any members now that have ever spoke on that project and to talk about how successful it was? Or?
Well, in earlier programs, we've had programs on that, but we haven't had a recent program on it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
One story I could tell on that project, very unique to, I would say, a lot of my international projects. We came back with one gentleman who was diagnosed with Legionnaire's disease.
Oh, dear.
From Tampico, Mexico.
Oh,
so
dear.
that was, I would say, one of the few risks that we had to have.
Yeah.
That year also, I believe you did another wheelchair project, 550 to Guyana.
To Guyana, right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and that one I have heard about because the woman who was our president the year before last is Guyanese, and so she was intimately involved in that project, Amanda Richardson.
Right,
so.
right.
or Richards. So yeah.
So that's 1,100 wheelchairs in one
Wow,
year.
is that
Right.
amazing?
That is amazing.
Yeah. Right.
Truly amazing. How about any other projects have you been involved with that you would like to maybe share with us?
Well, I can say that we have given financial support to trauma treatment in Kenya. We have also given financial support to a project that really is from I think started by a Palm Springs Sun Up Club called Project Peanut Butter, which is a nutritional support program for children in trying to remember where exactly, Malawi for one.
Okay.
And then we've also given support to projects in Niger, At-Risk Youth Project in Niger, and a entrepreneur training program in Ghana as well, in Accra, Ghana, for street girls, which are girls that come to the city, the capital city of Accra, thinking that they are going to find the streets paved with gold, and find quite the opposite. So trying to help them support themselves and be self-sufficient.
Very, very active.
Yeah, well, and we
Club.
have a couple others. Yes, we've been very, we have. And we did one with a Rotary Club of Sherbrooke in the province of Quebec in Canada, because there was, at Lake Megantic, there was a huge explosion, you might recall, destroyed the city or town. And so we partnered with them, provided financial support to provide a youth center in that city to help rebuild the city. So
Now, how did you locate, I would say, these projects?
well, in the last instance, it was through a member of ours whose buddy club knew of the project. He lives in New Hampshire, and so he actually, I think, had a summer home in that area of Quebec, and so he knew of this project that was ongoing with the Rotary Club of Sherbrooke and got us involved. So that was through a member of ours. In other instances, we've had, we're looking to develop a global grant now, perhaps with the Rotary Club of Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, and that also was a connection that we made through a member of ours who is Zimbabwean but lives in Tennessee.
Wow, that seems like sure helps having those people all over the world.
Yes, it does. It's amazing. Oh, and I forgot, the other big one that we've participated in was in a polio surgery project, or hospital project in India. So we've been all over the place.
You sure have. How about you, Les? I mean, you're a fairly new club.
Yeah, we're a fairly new club, and we're looking forward to doing a lot of international projects. But right now, our focus is kind of on developing membership. And a big project we try to do is to get the word out about what the foundation is all about. Now, we have these 19 charter members, and we chartered like in May 8th, and by July 31st, we became a 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club. We felt that we had a lot of members who came from other clubs already who were Paul Harris's, and multiple Paul Harris's. There were some who were not. We started working with them. We were able to get everybody to become a Paul Harris. And so that is something we've done.
By the way, what is a Paul Harris?
Well, you know, it is a fellow that was started in the name of Paul Harris, as we know, who is the president of our club. And it was started, I think, in 1957, if I'm not mistaken. 1947. And to become a Paul Harris, Paul Harris Fellow, a member, or even someone who is not a member, will donate $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. And when you do that, you get a certificate, and you get a pin like this. And that money goes into the foundation. As we all know, this funds Rotary International projects, helps funds our projects here in the district. And we felt that being so young, maybe one of the things we wanted to do is to set an example, you know, to other clubs that try to encourage Rotarians and even new members coming into our club to be a Paul Harris Fellow.
So that basically shows endorsement to the foundation.
Yes, oh,
and
definitely,
all the projects
definitely.
that we're doing.
And from there, you know, because we're going to be tapping into that when we get into our international projects.
Right.
And I think we might have broke a record, to tell you the truth, because we were only, we became a 100% Paul Harris Fellow only 83 days after we were chartered.
Okay.
So
If not, you're pretty close.
close to it. I don't know what else has done it.
I
But
don't know if
we
anybody
worked
else has
on
done
that,
that.
and we're really happy about it. And
Okay.
I think a lot of members of the club are excited about it. And we encourage them to keep on giving money to the foundation every year, sort of situation.
Now, how about age demographics? What is the average age, or do you have younger people included, or is it more of a, I would say, traditional Rotary age?
I think most of ours are traditional. We run around 40 to about 60.
Okay.
Most of us who have joined this club have been members of other clubs, been very active. And because of certain situations in our lives and lifestyle, we had to drop out of our clubs, but we never really wanted to we really wanted to keep our fingers into Rotary. For me, I've always been a senior active and a member of, honorary member of the Montecito Club, but I needed to do a little more than that. So when I had a chance to join this EClub, it helped me to continue my involvement in Rotary, which I've always been involved with, and do it in a way that I can do it, because I do a lot of traveling and some family commitments I have to deal with that just wouldn't allow me to go to a meeting every Tuesday at 12 o'clock.
Right. How about you?
I think that we're a little younger. Our average age is a little younger than the traditional Rotary Club, and particularly for our international members. We have a number of people who are in the, say, 40 to 50-year-old category. However, we do have, it changes, it fluctuates all the time, because we do have people who travel a lot and who join our club for the reasons that Les has articulated. It's difficult for them to make a commitment to a once-a-week meeting in a specific place. So it fluctuates a little.
I remember it was about a year or so ago that you were actually having an outreach program for Rotary Peace Fellows. That would bring the age down, I would guess, quite a ways.
Yes, we have three members who are active members who are Peace Fellow alumni, and then one who is an honorary member as well. And yeah, they are a little bit younger,
Okay.
so than the average.
How long have you been in Rotary, by the way?
I've only been in Rotary for about 3 years.
3 years.
As an active Rotarian.
And how old is the club?
But that doesn't include the time I spent as a Rotarian.
True. Yeah, right.
Because my husband is a long time
Yeah,
Rotary
we have
member.
Mike out there in the audience right now, making sure you get it all right.
Yeah. So.
Good for you, Mike. Good to see you here.
So yes.
Okay. So 3 years, you said.
Yeah.
And the
about
club age is about 3 years also, right?
Yeah, it's about. I think just about that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Les? How
4
long?
actually. I think
4?
we're inching up on.
Okay. Okay. Good.
I've been involved in Rotary for about 23 years.
23 years.
I think around about that.
Okay. Wow.
19 years with the Montecito Club.
So you have seen quite a change with the EClub.
Oh,
Would
yeah.
you have ever imagined an EClub?
Well, actually, when I joined Rotary, I think women were just invited to join Rotary about 2 years before I joined my first Rotary Club. So we're doing quite a change.
Yeah.
We have quite a change.
Now, how about with the internet, being an EClub? I mean, you're kind of setting trends here. Something.
Oh
new.
yeah, I mean this is an amazing thing. I mean I cannot believe that I could actually be involved in a Rotary Club or even a meeting with my officers on my telephone. It's an amazing thing, you know, on your iPhone. We've come a long, long way, long way. And you know, it's so much easier even to contribute now. All you have to say, boom, yes. So it's really nice. It really is nice.
Yeah.
And I think it's something in the future. I think we're going to see a lot more people joining Rotary because of this. I think we're going to find people who have had to drop out of Rotary for different reasons who still want to be in Rotary. Will be able to get back into being an active Rotarian. And I think that the message has to be really sent out by EClubs to all the clubs in the district that they're being sponsored by, that there is a place that their members who are dropping out for certain reasons can still be involved with Rotary by joining an EClub. I think that's really important.
And how about you?
Well, there are some challenges to being in an E-Club that I think people need to be aware of, and one is the difference in the way that you share fellowship.
That's right.
It is really different, and but I think that for younger people, particularly people who have been working with computers and working over the internet for a long time, I think that it is a very natural place for them to be, much more so than it is for folks who just cottoned on to the idea. And so, I mean, for myself, professionally, I worked on a lot of projects where I never met with people in person. We were strictly over the internet. So for me, it was very natural, and it is for a lot of people in the computer internet generation, if you will.
Good.
So I think it will be a very attractive vehicle for Rotary to expand in.
So if somebody out there in the audience wanted to actually take a look at it, what would they see? How would they go? Do you guys have a internet, an address, direction on how to get there?
Yeah, I have
Absolutely.
one. I mean, we have our own website, which is www.rotaryglobalEagles.org.
Okay, good.
And if anybody wants to have more information about becoming a member of the Global Eagles, they can email me, lesespo, LESESPO, @gmail.com.
Okay.
And yours?
Ours is on the World Wide Web, and we are oneworldrotary.org.
Good.
And they can email us. Well, if they get to our website, there's a number of links for emailing anybody in our club, all the officers, and for membership information. And also, we are at our email would be oneworldrotary@googlegroups.com.
Great. Well,
You can always, also you can always get to our sites, both our sites, through the district website,
Yes.
and also Rotary International website.
Perfect.
That's right.
well, thank you both very much for your
Okay.
time and sharing pretty fascinating clubs, I would say, something that's cutting edge, and it sounds like just about anybody could get involved with that. So once again, I would like to thank you all for coming. I would also like to thank the audience for participating and watching us. We'd like to say that what we do in Rotary is changing the world one step at a time. And with this group and what they're doing worldwide is making one huge difference. So thank you very much for joining us.